Without further ado, please tell the ladies and gentlemen your name and what the company is about.
Yes, my name is Michelle Warner, and I am a classical conversation support representative and for the Hardin Meade, Western Kentucky area. And so it's my opportunity to get to walk alongside homeschooling families and families that are interested in homeschooling. So I get this opportunity year round, and so now with families thinking about what they're going to do next year, this is a great opportunity. Classical Conversations is the program that my family and I have used for over 10 years. So it's an exciting program that your kids can grow with.
Awesome. So we're going to just go ahead and get right down deep into this conversation. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment box. So we're going to just go ahead and ask you the very first question. With classical conversations, I know that a lot of parents have stress and they have work, they have lots of things that they have to do, but with classical conversations, can the parents still work and still be able to do the schooling?
Yeah, so Classical Conversations is a program that meets once a week, and the program runs from ages 4, pre-K, through 12th grade. And so we meet once a week, and we meet the 4-year-olds through 12-year-olds will meet from 9 to 12, and then just 9-year-olds to 12-year-olds will meet from 1 to 3. And so it is a drop. You cannot drop your students off that are ages 4 to 11. Parents do have to stay on that day, but the rest of the week there are a lot of opportunities for families of at home work, as well as working out of the home if you have family that can help you. Then from ages 12 through high school, it is a drop-off program. So on that weekly meeting, you can drop your student off, or if they're old enough, they're welcome to drive to the program, and they are there all day. Again, they meet for 6.5 hours, so they meet from about 8:30 to 3, and that is one day a week. And so with the middle and high school students, there's some work that you do have to do with the student as far as helping them learn to be learners. So as the lead, you are the lead teacher, and so you will have the opportunity to help them grow as a student. They will get a guide for the week, but it's you're really just helping them learn to manage that work. And so you're there for a resource, but once they get into the program, and the tutor that they meet with once a week helps them also on the weekly meetings, they will see how they can be self-motivated learners. So that is our ultimate goal with Classical Conversations, is to develop leaders that can learn on their own. So they're eager learners. So that's really important with the program. And so that's important. I work from home. A lot of moms do for supplement their income, and so you kind of have to be a little inventive. Work before the little ones get up. Work, or if you're a night owl, work when they go to bed. But it's definitely something that a lot of homeschool families have figured out how to do.
Cool. So it's like really incentive for maybe the stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad that needs to get their kids to be closer to home, I guess, and to train and to teach them closer to home as long as they're working from home. So it works out great. I guess another question that we would have is how much parental involvement is there? I mean, like, because I guess as kindergarten goes, you kind of have to be knee deep, maybe counting or doing the colors or trying to teach them to write. But I guess, how deep is involvement of the parent do they have to get?
Well, so with Classical Conversations, the parents are the teacher. So the weekly meetings that I spoke of, there will be a tutor You will come to class, and there will be a tutor for each group. So they meet. So say you have 21 students in that program, there will be 3 classes of 7. We never have more than 8 students in a class. And so that tutor will be there to mentor and to equip the moms and dads that are homeschooling their students. And that tutor is also a homeschool mom. So just like me, I've been a tutor most of the time. At this point, didn't mention I have a 19-year-old son that just graduated from high school, and he's been homeschooled the whole time. I have a 16-year-old son who is going to be a junior, who's looking to play Division II soccer. Then I have my youngest son is 12, and they always get forgotten about, right? I was like, how old is he? But he is 12, and so he will be heading into 7th grade. And so my oldest son, he is headed off to college this year. And so with the Classical Conversations program, I am his teacher. And so, yes, there is material to do through the program, but I ultimately decide how much of that he does. And that happens from 4 all the way up through high school. So the tutors, in the program do not grade the work. They will mentor moms and help moms to understand, how to do that. But it is not their job. It's the parent, the teacher's job to grade the work and to decide how much of the work that they do. And so there is an opportunity that we have now. It's called CC Plus, and it's a dual credit opportunity. So like I said, my oldest son is going off to college, and he'll have 9 credit hours to take with him that have easily transferred to a state college. And it's just basically the work he was doing, and he turned it into a professor and received full credit for it. So that's a huge opportunity too as a homeschooler that we haven't had in the past.
Just lots of opportunities just pouring down. I know this isn't on the Q&A here, but I actually wanted to speak a little bit more. We spoke prior to the interview, and it was about earning as you learn, or getting paid as you learn. So like a benefit for the mother teaching. Mm-hmm. Could you speak on that, please?
Sure. So there is a tuition for the students, and that tuition, 95% of it stays in the community. There's a little fee that goes to Classical Conversations, but the rest of it stays in the community. So there's a director who oversees the program, and then there are tutors, as I said, in each class. And so that director and tutors earn that money, and so they can pay their tuition with that. They can do whatever they want with it, but it would essentially pay for their tuition, and they are learning and earning at the same time. And with Classical Conversations, we are reclaiming our education in a lot of senses, because most of us, everyone I know in Classical Conversations was public school educated, and just feel like we've lost a lot of that. And so, there's a lot of good things and great teachers out there, but just as adults, we joke that we're gonna be done with our education, and now we're there again. So we're relearning and doing it again, and it's good for the brain. It's good to learn. And so, but that's something about Classical Conversations, is that you have mentors and you have other moms that have been there, and so that's really important to walk alongside families and moms and dads. We have several dads that are part of our program, and it's a great opportunity to walk alongside them, to encourage them. So we're all doing the same curriculum. The curriculum is memory based, so we have in the ages 4 to 12, we start with memory work in our community, and so then we do our geography, we do Latin, so Latin, geography, math, science, and forgetting one. Oh, grammar, English grammar. And so then you take that home and you build on it with your child's interests. So even though it may feel like a kindergartner needs you like you said knee deep into it, it can be very fun. So you're doing the memory work for 30 minutes, you're doing reading, you're reading to your child, you're doing a reading program, and then you're playing. And you're enjoying your time together, you're playing outside, and as they get older, it increases. Once they get to high school, middle and high school, then it becomes more of a 6-hour day. But it doesn't, and we can talk on, this gets, classical conversations is a classical method of teaching, and so it goes back to the ancient times of learning. We learn and we relearn and we relearn at a different level so that they hold on to that information. And so that is the backbone of classical conversations. It's a God-centered classical program. So there's a lot to that.
No, that was awesome. I mean, just like getting that insight there, it just feels good to hear. To know that there's options on the table. And ladies and gentlemen, again, if you have any questions at all, just go ahead and write them in the comment box, and we'll be sure to ask them. For the next question, though, so you were speaking on your child getting ready to go to college. He's getting ready to do the big thing, go and start his life. Yeah. After doing the homeschooling at home, the classical conversations at home, would you say he is prepared to, would other children be prepared to walk into college, or are they going to need some extra curriculum, or is there something else to add to their knowledge for them to be college ready?
Classical Conversations is a program that equips your students very well. As I mentioned earlier, its focus is leadership. And that actually starts at age 4 by encouraging our students to do presentations. And so every week they have a presentation. From age 4, it looks like show and share, like you do in preschool, but it continues through kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, and then in middle school, it's going to be more presenting a science project that you did. We do science fair, we do mock trial, we do, and so then in high school it's debate. And then there's lots of debate in classical conversations, so there's lots of opportunity for our students to grow in that area. My oldest son is going to Moorhead in the fall at Moorhead State, and he received his scholarship there for the most part based on his interview and his ability to communicate. And so that is something that I felt as a homeschool mom that was very difficult to replicate at home, because I didn't have an audience for my student that wasn't mom and dad and a brother. That's not very intimidating. So at Classical Conversations in our communities, we have that opportunity every week. So if you have a kiddo that's nervous about speaking, which a lot of people are, and so that's very common, so they just slowly get in the groove, and then they figure it out, and they see everybody else is doing it, and you have students that just by the time they're done, they just blossom, and they show that they are confident. So Classical Conversations been in the Hardin, Meade County area for the last 10 years. And we just had our first group graduate, and so that's exciting. And the students just have the ability to express rhetoric. They can have deep conversations. They can also stand up in front of a group and give their presentations about. They can also do it spontaneously. So we do impromptu speeches. We work on a lot of the skills that they will need for the interviewing process. My 16-year-old, he went for his first interview this past month, and the lady just kept talking about what good eye contact he had, and he was like, it's been drilled into me. I don't really have a choice. But he did very well, and it's just another example of how the program really has taught my boys, the skills, the lifelong skills that they need, not just about the curriculum, but about skills that they need to be kind people, to be able to listen to a conversation and maybe not agree with that person, but to be able to have that conversation. So when we do debate, they have to debate both sides. Because, you know, you have to understand where the other person is coming from. You have to know why do they believe what they do. And so that is a really key component to being able to be a good listener and a good communicator.
Cool. Awesome. So it's just really, it's just impactful stuff, man. Just teaches you how to, and you know, I think that's a lot with today, the conversations that people have, being able to speak with one another, especially with the COVID coming in, the masks that they're getting ready to put on the children. I'm just not sure about the 6 foot distance thing. I'm not sure about how they're still going to be able to learn in the platformer and the setting that was supposed to be. And again, I'm not trying to sway anyone. I just know that from my own, I just kind of, I know that learning abilities, it matters when you have so many different things taken away from you that you once had that you no longer have. So yeah, debating, being able to speak with one another, being able to have to see both sides of the field, the playing field. Not every time, just because you win, you get a trophy. You know, there's not first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. You know what I mean? You know, so I really, wow, this is really chock full of stuff. For the last question, though, I don't want to keep you here any longer. I really appreciate you being here. What is the difference between classical conversations and other co-op, learn from home schooling groups? I mean, there's lots of them out there, but what would you say sets classical conversations apart from all the others?
So a couple things there. With our program in elementary age, the tutor will introduce the material to the student, and then they go home and work on that. So at home, you're reviewing what you've already done in class, and so you're really building that information into their mind. And as young children, they want that repetition, right? They want that book read to them over and over again. They want to hear the same story over and over again. And so they enjoy that, and they crave it. And so our desire is to teach the desire to learn, instill in them a desire to learn. And so at an early age, that's what happens. And then when they're in middle and high school, they will do their work at home, and then they come to class, and it's a 6-hour conversation between the class and then debates and presentation. It's an exhausting day for a tutor, but it's an amazing day, and it's an amazing opportunity. And so they have the opportunity to discuss everything that they have been learning that week. And so both programs, they stay with the same tutor all day and the same set of students all day. That is a little different from what you'll see in other homeschool groups, and it's just a different learning setting. So in the classical model, it's wanting to build relationships and wanting to be with the same people, wanting to know your tutor and to know the students around you. So we did a co-op for a couple of years when we first started homeschooling, and it was just, for us, it was hard for us to develop a relationship with other families because they would move class to class every hour. So that's probably one of the biggest differences from our experiences as a family. And my kids in elementary even realized that it was hard to develop the relationship with the other kids because they didn't have time with them, and so within their classes they're going to have opportunity to play games, to sing songs at the elementary and early middle ages. And so that just develops relationship, just 5-year-olds running around playing and singing and going outside and jumping around things that look like planets, and talking about saying the names of the planets. And so it's very age appropriate based on where they are in their stage of learning. And so those are some of the biggest differences. Well, one more is that the tutor is a paid tutor, and you're paying for the program. And so in our experience, and I didn't mention earlier, classical conversations have been around 22 years now, and we are in all of the states, and then I think 15 countries at this point. And so we have approximately 125,000 students worldwide. And so in the experience of this program, when you pay for something, you're more invested. So a co-op generally will be very, very low fee, and the tutors or the moms leading the classes won't get paid. And so there's not as much of a level of investment. So when you put your money on something, you tend to want it more. You tend to be like, no, we are getting out of bed. We are going to get there today, no matter how tired I am or how late you were up crying, because you didn't want to sleep in your own bed. So it really does add value to what you're doing. And then again, you're paying a tutor, so that tutor feels that need to be invested in the program as well. And it and the fees are all there within the community. So you're feeding the community, not somebody else out there that you don't know. But it's definitely an opportunity to be around like-minded moms too. See, I keep coming up with more things that are a little different. So classical conversations at every community within the world. We have 4 communities in my area, so all the way from Campbellsville to here, and every community is doing exactly the same program. So we're all doing the same material. So we have families that come in from Fort Knox. You come in, you're here for 2 years, you go to Texas or you go to DC, and you're going to walk into a program that's doing exactly the same thing. So the director's personality may add a little different, but the same times, the same curriculum. Yeah, it's all the same. And so that can give you comfort to know that there is consistency. So as the support representative in the area, that is part of my job, is to help support those directors and maintain integrity of the program to make sure. So I get the opportunity to visit the communities twice a semester so that I can just hang out with the families, get to know them, answer questions if they have questions about the program. So that's exciting for me. I get to do that, but I'm not the boss. I'm just that I'm there to equip and to help. So I enjoy that part. Awesome stuff. I was gonna ask you, say, well, what do you love best about what you do? But I mean, you kind of hit that right on top of the head. But I want you to leave your information. Yes. If ladies and gentlemen are looking to homeschool their children from Meade County, or maybe they're not, maybe some people that are watching aren't from Meade County and they're just hearing this great news, how can they get involved? How can they get in contact? What do they need to do? Yes. So you can reach me at Warner, WARNER, at classicalconversations.com. You can email me, and I can, I'd be love to talk to you, not just email, love to chat. I can be reached, my phone number is 502-905-0996. And you can call me, text me, email with questions, or just want to chat, want to know more. A really great opportunity is we're doing IM, information meetings. We call them IMs. So just classical conversations, information meetings now through Zoom, just to make it more user friendly. And we do love to see.
You said you have one coming up, right?
We do. We have, so Wednesday night from 7 to 9. I have an information meeting coming up. So if you email me, I can send you the link for registration for that. I have several families already that are planning on joining me, and we're going to have at least one a week in the next few weeks, just because this is the time that families are starting to think about, what are my options? What am I going to do next year? And at this point, we're not full. We have room for families, so we don't want to turn anyone away, but we do want to have the conversations as early as we can so that you don't feel like your family's trying to figure it all out at the last minute. But if you can always visit a community as well if the time comes. And we start the end of August, typically. The end of August is when our program starts, and we go 12 weeks in the fall and 12 weeks in the spring for ages 4 to 12. And then middle and high schoolers go for 15 weeks in the fall and 15 weeks in the spring. And so, email me, call me, and I would love to chat with you. And then I can connect you with the director, and you can get more of your questions answered. But again, I'll be Zooming so you can ask questions on the information meetings as well.
Awesome. Again, tell ladies and gentlemen who you are and what the name of the company is.
Yes, so my name is Michelle Warner, and I am a support representative for the Meade County area. And Classical Conversations is a classical homeschooling group that meets once a week, and you can get tons of information about our program through classicalconversations.com. And if you're interested in maybe this information meeting I mentioned a second ago isn't the right time for you, you can go to classicalconversations.com/events, and you can find there lots of online information meetings that you can connect with one of those. And they will all be the same information, so you don't have to see me. You can see anyone that's doing information meeting, because again, like I said, the information will be consistent across the board.
Awesome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you have enjoyed this extensive interview about homeschooling here in the Meade County area. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment box. I'm pretty sure she'll be in the comment box as well to be able to answer them for you. Itsmontez.com. Get yourself a real content creator. Duh.